Welcome back everybody to Rasputin Gaming Presents. This is our continuing gameplay for King Arthur Knight's Tale. This is episode 3 and we're going to talk about Camelot and building up our base of operations. So you can see Camelot here, right here, and all the different things. So we have the round table and the crypt. These are the two areas in blue that we can actively do things with. So we'll start with the crypt because it's the easiest. There's nothing going on here. Let me show you. So abandon all hope, ye who enter here. You haven't lost any heroes yet. So this is the crypt, the resting place of heroes fallen in battle, left to perish to the dust. So select their tombstone to pay respects and remember how the heroic deeds helped you on your quest. So nobody's dead, nobody's interred yet. So all good. That's what the crypt is all about. So that's why we went there first. It's easy. So next, let's deal with the round table. Let's click in here. Welcome to the round table, gathering place of noble knights at Camelot, the seat of the monarch of Avalon. You can pass laws, issue decrees, and give knighthood to heroes, but first you have to unlock its function. So again, I like this glowy thing, and I really like the artwork. So aspirant hero slots, that's these 4 down here. Heroes outside of your active roster are waiting here. You can add heroes if there are empty slots on your hero list. Upgrade the round table to expand your hero list to acquire more heroes to your active roster. And up here, Grandmaster building title. You can assign a hero from your hero list to this title. A building with an assigned leader gains additional benefits. Certain hero traits can have an effect on a title, so be sure to pay attention to them. A hero can only hold 1 title at a time. So if you have somebody there, you can see gold cost of decrees is reduced by 10%. We can put like Mordred up there, and now you can see it. And these are the things, so you can give titles, or court titles give +1 loyalty if you have the Hospice. Hospice is required, leadership to 3, leadership 2, 1, Hospice, and leadership 1. So there's all this different stuff you can do from right here, the round table. Give knighthoods to your heroes to increase their loyalty to you. This guy already gets +50% if we put him in the party, or I mean give him a title. So if you do that, you see +5 loyalty added to the holder of this title. So once we leave this screen, don't have an open slot, hold on. So now if we go into Sir Kay, you can see his loyalty right here. It's good, so +10% damage during battle. So loyalty of 5 because he's ambitious. 50% loyalty increase from core titles. Good to go. So that's the round table. So the next thing you're going to want to build is the Hospice, because most of these other things you can't build until you have it. So let's start here by looking at the Hospice. So you can see it takes 500 gold and 500 building supplies, of which we have both. Avalon can be a harsh, unforgiving place. Your wounded heroes need time and care to recover for their next nightly quest. The Hospice, offering comfortable beds and skilled healers, is the right place for that. So we'll go ahead and reconstruct, and down it goes, and up comes the new one. So treatment slots. At the moment you have only 1 treatment slot. Dun dun dun. Right there. Treatment takes time and won't be able to use your hero during that period. Recovery time will reduce by 1 after every completed mission. Okay, upgrades on this side. Here you can reconstruct this building and expand its capabilities. You can upgrade the building to unlock additional 3 treatment slots, so you can heal more heroes simultaneously, cheaper and faster. So 1, 2, 3. So we can look at these things again. Okay. So if you have 1,000 gold, which we do not, vitality healing cost is reduced by 10% for the quick treatment. Or up here, unlock the second hero slot, which takes 500 building supplies, which we don't have. No injuries, so hospitality, we can stick her in this slot. So you can see she gets the second part. So vitality healing is cost reduced by 10% for the quick treatment because she's in the slot. And because it's Lady Dindrain, while appointed as Hospitalier in the Hospice, increases the healing done by consuming heal potions by 4% for all heroes. So now in the field, if you're out there drinking, you get an extra 4% heal, and it's 2% per level. So with a couple levels, you can be like 10% more healing, which is nice, especially when you get more powerful healing potions. So there you go. Defender, Mordred. There's nobody with injuries, so we're all good right here. So now we can save these up to increase on the Hospice, or we can look at other things. So let's start with this one down here in the bottom right hand corner, the Enchanted Tower, which we don't need until a little bit later in the game when we're dealing with Sages and Arcanists. But this mysterious tower is an isolated yet important place dedicated to the mystic arts of magic. By tapping into the arcane energies of Avalon, you can gain forbidden knowledge from magic items, and you can buy new ones from the Artificer. So 500 gold and 500 building supplies. Part of the requirement was the Hospice, but because they want you to build a Hospice first, so everything takes that. Let's go to the next low one here, Training Ground. So this one actually requires the Merchant. Rather 1,000 drops of sweat in training than 1 drop of blood in combat. And on the training grounds, your knights can hone their martial skills and prepare for the next battle. And remember, if we put Sir Mordred in charge of the training grounds, everybody gets 1% more experience points of all your heroes. So Merchant, which we need before we can build the training grounds, we can build right now. A hidden building in the shadow of the colossal ramparts where a secretive merchant offers all kinds of rarities arriving from the various corners of the island, ranging from strange fruits or mysterious objects to legendary weapons unearthed from ruined castles. So if we're going to build this, then you can buy and sell stuff, which is an option. And lastly is the cathedral up here. Towering above the timbered rooftops, this majestic building preaches the glory of the one true faith. The cathedral offers a salve not only for the soul, but also for the body. You can heal the most grievous wounds of your knights here. 500 gold and 500 building resources. So that's where we are. We don't need to upgrade these things yet. I'm actually going to put the merchant in so that we can sell stuff and buy stuff. So let's go back to the merchant and do construction here. And we don't have a chandler yet, but we will be getting some. So after the next mission, he'll restock, but this is what he has available. So for weapon, oh, okay, hold on, upgrade. Here you can reconstruct the merchant and expand his capabilities, more items, faster refreshing, cheaper and better goods. You can say okay. So it's Mordred over here. So for weapons, he has Strengthening Rune of Composure, rune for one-handed weapons. Gain 2 AP for the first turn of each encounter, plus 1 maximum weapon damage. This thing is like ridiculously good. Extra AP is like awesome. And we can actually buy it. You see the buy price is 550. And we have 575. So we could actually get this. So he would do 1 more bit of damage than he's doing now. And because his range is 5 to 10, this would be 8 to 9. So on average, it's going to be more. And armor breaking is 10%, so 5% more, which is really, really good. Rejuvenating Rune of Leeches for one-handed weapons. Gain 2 hit points for each kill and 3 when drinking potions. This, although it's one-handed, is something you'll want to put on your DPS guys so that you don't have to worry about healing them. It comes passively. So this is really nice. Champions are generally two-handed weapon guys, so they can't take advantage of this, but Vanguard can. So that's where you want to. We don't have any Vanguards yet, but this is really good for them. Champions only, Rune of Deep Wounds. We have this one already. And then here's one that's only 125. Room for 100. +1 damage against the loss. We're actually going to be fighting some loss here pretty soon. But it's only damage against the loss. And what we already have is gain 1 damage for 2 turns after each kill. So kind of like that one better. This has better armor breaking, but who needs that against Lost? And we'll see. Armor runes, +1 AP, movement AP, which is nice. Especially for Shirkei, who's always encumbered by having not very much movement. So if you put Shirkei up there, and you put this one, but right now he's gaining 3. It's not as good as this one. 3 AP, 1 drink. So we might want to be buying this one, because this one is good for him. He gets 1 more AP. Once per turn, gain 3 movement AP for 1 turn after receiving a hit. So this is, so like if we get hit and kill something, then we can move and we can really close out on other enemies. So movement for your vanguards and your champions is a really big deal. Also here, gain +1 AP for the first encounter after rest and 3 HP. It's nice. And +1 armor, +3 HP. This one is nice as well. But these are 550. The blues are 550. The greens are 125. Trinkets and accessories. +1 damage for Overwatch attacks. It's nice, but not something we do that much of. +2 loyalty, gain 3 movement AP for first turn of each encounter. So you can really close guys out, or if you're ranged, you can really get into position. This is also good for defenders, by the way. It's Mordred, so we don't really have to worry about loyalty with him. But it's, put him up here. He doesn't have a loyalty factor. And then there's this sturdy, ignore 25% incoming attacks armor breaking value. So this one is really good for him as well. $550 for this. Regain 2 vitality when drinking potions. And you can see the health is 18, so it's even higher. And then this one, haste, 2 HP to start of each encounter, and +1 AP movement when unharmed. So this one is really good to keep your defenders upright, sturdiness, right? And then there's consumables, armor potion, regain 40%, regains, so it's not gain additional, it's regain 40% armor. So those are all the ones you can buy. You can get better quality item. Your relics appear after the next restock if you had 1,000 gold for this one. This one takes 1,000 gold, 1,000 rebuild. Every current and prospective hero gets +1 armor. This is huge. Huge. Really digging these ones. I think there was... and this one was good too. But I want to save up, see where we are after the next mission. But this is what the merchant gets for you. And if you put somebody in there, then it's a different deal. Mortality. And now we can sell these gray ones. So if you right click, you can, whoops, I mean, we should be able to sell. get some money out of it. Not sure why it's on the merchant side. I'm not getting to do that. Let me go back into the merchant and see. Oh, here we go. So right click to sell. And that U-turn just means buyback. Gonna get rid of all the gray stuff. We haven't used this one yet. It's still 25 even though it's a green, and we'll hold on to the potions. So we're up to 700. Let's close this out. So that's where we are. We can't rebuild here yet. But we do have these things built. So you kind of want to look and see what you want to do with the money now. We don't have a lot of healing left to come, but you can reduce some healing, unlock a second slot for healing here. So unlocks an additional +2 hero slots on your heroes list. If we had 500, so you could actually now have 8 heroes. They're not to us yet. For 3,000 gold, court tiles get +1 loyalty. For 1,000, unlocks a decrees tab where you can issue 1 decree between every mission to gain extra bonuses. One of these, this one, upgraded requires leadership 1. Unlocks the laws tab so you can pass laws and gain permanent bonus. So that's these up here, which we can't see yet because we haven't gotten that far yet. So that's all this. Raleigh chart journal. And then down here now we could go to the adventure map. And we have 3 slots still left. Here, let me go back to the morality chart. Only 1 event right here and 1 right here. So far, and if you come out here to the map, we can see farther. So this one is done. So new event available and new main mission available. So you can go to the event or you can go to the main mission. So if we look at things, Pillagers of Kingstone. So let's check this one out. So events are a little shorty things like this. Pillagers of Kingstone, you have 3 missions left to finish this event. So you can pick it at any time. So the defeat of the modern knight of Kingstone, which we did right away, was a harsh lesson for all the scoundrels pillaging the countryside and a pleasant exercise for me. His remaining henchmen immediately laid down their weapons and offered their servitude. How admiredly they crave retribution. I could give them a second chance and recruit them. On the other hand, I should satisfy the vengeance of the villagers and make an example that could reinforce my reign. What shall it be? So if we pick the rightful one, put the captured marauders to sword, it is a harsh verdict, but the acts they committed in Kingstone cannot be tolerated. That would move us back to neutral and kind of not really accomplish what we want to do. If we take the Tyrant one, we can recruit them as henchmen. Justice can wait. In these dire times, we need expendable soldiers. So we get 1 more on the Tyrant, but we also get 50 building resources. So we're a Tyrant, we're going to collect this one anyways. And there you go. And now you see the morality chart is flashing at us. And another one right here. I need an army to rebuild the realm, so I recruited them as henchmen. Now we're to 2 on the Tyrant side and 1 more for 3. Item buying cost is reduced by 10%. It unlocks trading levies, building development for the merchant. So, which allows us to reduce buying cost of items by 10%. And really, these 2 knights that can join us aren't really the best for the way we're going to set up the parties. They're not optimal, Really, we want to get to is Lady Morgan Le Fay. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to go down the Old Faith or Christian choices yet. Also, Sir Bedivere is somebody that's good for us for recruiting that we would want, and Sir Dagonet, because you can see he pulls on both sides of this, so he is good for us as well. Maybe we should talk about that one as well. Let me do it like this. Now you guys can see it all. Okay, so let's talk about this. Is right here, these are the classes. So anybody in black in here is a defender. Anybody in red, like Sir Kay, is a champion. Mordred. Blues are arcanists, like Morgan Le Fay. Marksmen are in the green, like Lady Dindrain. Sages in the purple. And Vanguards in the yellow, which we haven't come across any of these yet. But here's Sir Balin. You can see he's righteous, but he's also over here in the Old Faith. He touches both. And there's always one that touches both on both sides. So we talked about Dagonet. Here he is. And also Morgacy. She touches both as well. And then if you go on this side, we have some more that can, like Lord Tagir, touches on both, just like we have Balin touching here. And this side we have Damas and Balin touching on both. So these are the available ones for the build I'm doing, which is the Tyrant Old Faith build. And here's all the neutral ones. These guys are always good to be building with. So if you see in bold, they're either neutral or they go both ways. So Dagonet and Morgawese, and then Mordred, all these in here are the ones we need. So looking at our choices, the Red Knight is somebody we can recruit along with the Black Knight. So he's Tyrant level, Brunor. These are the ones that come. These two guys, Lanval and Kay, are neutral. And then in Vanguards, Bedivere, he's Old Faith right there. She is, sorry. Tristan and Boudicca, they're both neutral, so right there. They're good for us. The marksmen are the neutral marksmen work for us. There's also Geraint, but he's also on the righteous side, so he's going to have a problem over here. That's why he's not over here. The ones that go both, and then in italics, Old Faith. So these are all the choices when we're looking at the build. And this is down here the optimal party if you're going to run a Tyrant Old Faith build. The guys in the block right here are the ones you want to have whenever you can in your party as your main 6 guys you want to work with. So Mordred stays with us, and these guys both should be bold. That should Kay be bold. Gawain also is a good backup for Mordred, and then Red Knight is 3rd on the list just because it takes us a little while to get to him in choices, and he's not quite as strong as these other 2. For the champions you want to run with, Kay, you want to stay with him. He is solid for you. Brunor, Tyrant side, is next. He's a capable backup for Kay. You don't want to have Lanval because he's got a bad trait with him that is, if he doesn't go on 3 consecutive missions, he starts to destroy the loyalty of the group. So he's probably one you don't even want to have sitting on your bench because he's just going to wreck everything. And I have on this tab right here all the traits. I'll show them to you. And then the Black Knight, automatically his weakness is greed, so you lose 20% of all gold gained in any mission. So no matter how good he is at fighting, he's going to cost you 20% every mission. So you don't really want to have him run with you as well. For the archers, Yvain is a little bit better than Boars in the way of skills, but either one will be good for you if this is who you want to run with. On the sages, Morgase is the better of the two over Isolde, because she's actually benefits from Tyrant and Old Faith, and she has a better skill set. Just like Dagonet, he's second to Morgan Le Fay. She's a super strong arcanist. Merlin might be the only one right here that's better than her. It's a close call, and the reason I have him crossed out is you're going to have to make a choice between Merlin and Morgase. So you can add him to your bench, but then you only really have one option for a sage, and that's not the optimal path you want to take. She's the better choice over Isolde anyways, and losing Merlin to Morgan Le Fay isn't a huge loss. And then when you're looking at Vanguard, which is the other weapons guys, the two neutral guys right here, Tristan and Boadicea, but Bedivere on the Old Face side is second behind Tristan. And the thing we did to look at that is we looked at all the traits everybody had, and they're all listed across here. And the red ones are their weaknesses. So Brunor, he's hated. That's not a big deal for him. Yvain is soft. That one doesn't really cost us much either. But like I said, the Black Knight is a mercenary, costs you 20%. Landval is restless. You can see right here, needs to be on missions or he's a problem. Yvain, one of the advantages of having her is the Sixth Sense skill, because she gets good perception, so she can see hidden objects and other things that you wouldn't normally find. She's good to be a Chandler, which is in the Merchant, because she's the coin counter right here. She has a really good skill for that. Gawain, after Mordred I mentioned, because he is agile, so he gets +1 AP. The other two don't really affect anything, so we don't have to worry about it. The Black Knight, Grandmaster like Brunor, but like I mentioned, mission gold minus 20%. Brutal. And the reason we want to roll with Tristan, he's actually a Lost. You can see right here, Lost, which makes him immune to poison and bleed. And then he's tough as well. This is another good benefit of rocking with a Lost. So that's why I said for him on your Vanguards, followed by Bedivere, who has a decent skill set. Boadicea is also good because of the agile skill. It's +1 to AP. And then Morgan Le Fay, her only thing, she can't have any Christian heroes in the party with her, but as Master of Magic for her job in the Enchanted Tower is good. Kay, we already know as a Hospitalier, is good. Isolde, her weakness, you can't make any Christian decisions. And Morgase, she can't use potions because she's sober. That's her downside. But if you manage her right, this isn't an issue at all. Boars, he can only be on 2 missions and then he has to rest. So most of the time you're going to want him to be a Chandler and sitting on the sideline anyways. So we have 3 good Chandlers, a couple Grandmasters, 1 Master of Arms. So some of these are going to have to switch around. K, Hospitaller, we already know that. That's the position he's in already. So those are the traits with a brief overview of them. I'm not going to go through every single one of these. You can see a lot of these are strong-minded, which is good for us. It gives us mental buffs, mental strength, so we can't get debuffed by fear and some other things, some mind setting stuff. The ones that are skilled, like Morgan Le Fay, allows us to gain extra points, which is good for us. K, as we mentioned before, talented, so things only cost 1 for him. So talented is really good, along with Bedivere. This one is 1, so they can get more skill sets. So that's why Bedivere is second to Tristan. Tristan just wins out mostly because of the tough skill and immune to poison. Immune to poison and bleed. Just makes him an excellent party member for you that you'll want to run on. So there you go. You can look up these. Maybe we can talk about a few of them as while we're here. What do you say? All right, so let's talk about some of the traits. So with Mordred, with the fast metabolism, it means he regains 20% of his maximum vitality when he rests. Veteran, we talked about that before. While appointed as Master Arms and Training Ground, heroes get XP while they rest. Sir K, with the Talented, only 1 skill point to learn active skills, so that's good. Ambitious, we know how that works for Sir K. So let's just talk about the ones in the party. Okay, so she has 6th Sense with his, or he does, which is the +1 perception, and coin counter while appointed as a court channeler at the merchant increases the gold rewards awarded for missions by 1% for every 5 levels. So that's extra gold. So you like having him as the channeler. The soft just means that his injuries require 1 more round to heal. So you got to be sure that he doesn't ever get injured, because that's going to be troublesome for you because he's going to have to take some time. Dagonet with the strong gets plus 10% points from armor sigils. And then excitement, as the effect is -3 loyalty if this hero doesn't have at least 2 relic items. So by the time you can recruit Sir Dagonet, you can get him relic items. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Tristan, the tough is that permanent injuries require 1 less round to heal for this hero. That's why you like having him. Lost, we already talked about. Allegiance, plus 6 loyalty points to the hero. So that is really, really good. That's why you want to have him with you. He's going to be doing extra damage. And sorry about that. So we talked about Lady Morgana Le Fay's traits. She can't have any Christian heroes. Effect is -1 loyalty after missions if there's a Christian hero in the party. That's because of her pagan weakness. She's an enchanter, so while appointed as the Master of Magic in the Enchanted Tower, grants temporary armor to heroes at the start of every mission. This increases by 1 every 10 levels. So they get extra armor, which is great for her. And then again, the skill, she gets 1 additional skill point every 5 levels. So she levels up really fast. Well, not really fast, but faster than most, which is a good thing for us. Lady Morgazy, we talked about sober. She can't drink potions. Strong Mind gives you the plus 20 mental debuff resist. And then Thankful is +1 loyalty for each relic equipment. So that's your group. We can talk about some of the other ones on why their weakness. The problem with Merlin 2 is his greed weakness. That one is tough for us because he needs to have, it's -2 loyalty if his equipment slots are not filled with relic items. So that's all of his equipment items. So you're going to suffer -2 loyalty from him. Just becomes tough to deal with him. Lady Boudicca, we talked about here. She's the second of our Vanguard, so she gets +1 because of agile, but mission conscious, so no loyalty from core titles. So it's not a big deal. That's such a minor thing, but that's why we like her for our party right here, and why she comes in with these. So any of these will work. Tristan we like better. I didn't talk about the Fairy Knight. Uh, Brunor behind K. We can do that. And let me see the Fairy Knight and Brunor. So he's hated. So the effect is that his healing injuries cost 100% more for this hero. So if he gets hurt, you're gonna have to spend twice as much for him. But as a tax collector, he grants extra gold after each mission as well. And then the tyranny is +1 loyalty after every other tyrant hero in the round table. So it makes him quite a bit loyal, and you can get him to the point where he's actually challenging Sir K for the damage. Boars, he's lazy, like we said, can't go on 3 missions in a row. That's tough for him, tough for us. Tradesman, while he's in the Chandler, though, it increases number of items offered by the merchant by 1, and that goes up by 1 for every 10 levels. So it gives you a lot more things to buy. And he gets plus 20% vitality from accessories and trinkets because of the healthful trait that he has. So that's kind of all of the traits. If you want to talk about some of the other ones that aren't, oh, we didn't talk about the Fairy Knight, right? Fast metabolism, regen vitality after the missions, and he's a sacrificer. So while he's appointed as the master of magic in the enchanted tower, grants an additional loyalty for every Old Faith hero. So you can get loyalty built up that way. Bedivere, talented, gets the +1 skill point for this hero, or active skills only cost +1, and then the Blood Oath, +1 loyalty after every other Old Faith hero in the round table. So that's what makes him such a good choice for us too. Bedivere, that's why he's second here, because he's going to level up faster, and if you have anybody else from this group of people in the round table, he adds loyalty to the group. So that's kind of where you want to be. You know, my party is who I think is your main group is right here: Mordred, Tristan, and Yvain, and then K. So you're running 4 neutrals really in this party as the main group. If they get injured, then you're going to run some backups on them. But Morgazy, who falls into both of these categories, and then Morgan Le Fay, who's just Old Faith, they work for us. With a backup for Morgan is Dagonet, who falls into both of these as well and takes advantage of those. So that's kind of where we are and why you want to build the party that way for an Old Faith Tyrant build. If you're doing Righteous Heroes, you would rock it on the other side. Again, Mordred would probably be your best bet for your tank, for your defender, followed by Gawain. Although Galahad and Percival are pretty good themselves. And then on the champions, Lancelot, probably still Landval over Lancelot, and then the White Knight. I haven't done a full examination on this side. Dindrain, she's pretty strong here over the, but you know, the neutrals work for me, along with Vanguard, Tristan. You just got to be careful with some of these, how you mix and match. Tiger goes both over here, so that's pretty solid, and he's loyal, so you get +3 loyalty, and veteran gives you the XP if he's in charge of the training grounds. So there you go. In a later plate, Lancelot, his weakness is righteousness, is -1 loyalty if there's a tyrant hero in the party, so you can't ever mix him with a tyrant. Wise, so +10 experience gain if no vitality lost on a mission, so he levels up fast. That's what makes him strong. And Grateful, so he gets with the relics. But there you go. That's kind of how it's built. I will do one for Righteous Heroes and Christian Heroes as well as we build through. As I build through, and as I create a second playthrough, probably run Righteous Heroes and Righteous Heroes with Christians, when we do the very hard playthrough, because we're going to need this build with the Christian. You get a couple of more really solid defenders, and you're going to need defenders in this case. It's really about survival and trying to mitigate. You can see they are weak if you're playing on this side. For Arcanists, you only have one. For Sages, you have Guinevere, but she's also an old face side, so that's kind of a problem sometimes. But Leo de Grasse and Lucan, so you have like two. So you have some on the spell side, but because you're dealing with Christians, they're not as strong, the Sage and Arcanist. So you're really going to want to run something like Mordred and Gawain with a Landval and maybe a Dindrain, or a Galahad. Maybe Galahad with Lancelot, Landval, and Dindrain, something like that. Or maybe Tagir. So you can kind of move all the way over if you want on this side. But we'll see. So anyways, that is the explanation of how I'm running this party and how I'm running it. And now we're back to here. Don't forget to review all this stuff, review the chart, set up a chart for yourself. You can certainly pause the video and lay out the hero cross like I did, and then take a look at skills and traits and see what works best for you. I will do an optimum build on the Christian righteous hero side shortly, maybe before I even get started. Maybe I'll start a second one with them on the very hard, and we'll play through together and see how that one works as well. So there you go. If you have questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comment section in the video. Much appreciated. Appreciate it. So hoping to hear from you guys soon with all that. That'll be it for today. Don't forget to friend and follow us on Twitch if you're on YouTube. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're almost to 100 subscribers. Maybe by the time this is posted, we'll be over that. Because I've been running Sniper Elite 5 at the same time I've been playing this game. And that's where we are. So anyways, let's close this out, and you guys be safe out there. When we come back next time, we'll run the next new main mission. All right. So we'll see you guys next time. Take care.